captures what Chazal had in mind when they said, Hevei mekabel kol odam b'sever ponim yafos. She greets everyone with warmth. She exudes friendship. And she makes everybody feel so comfortable. And that is irrespective of some of the deep concerns that she has about friends, about family. Her Kibbud Av V'Em, both Sheva and Dov, they model Kibbud Av V'Em for our community, taking care of her family from the years in Rochester, traveling to Rochester, welcoming them to our community, and Dov's appropriate kavod for his father and love for his father is so remarkable and so important to us. Dov is a person who always wants to take everything one step further. He worked so hard and works so hard for the tzibur on many, many different levels, whether it's the gabos in the shul, whether it's helping us make very difficult decisions, but he always wants to do everything one step further, his own learning one step further. A Dvar Torah that he hears, a deeper idea, he expands upon it. The drashas he would give in our shul at times or in Rochester, always taking ideas further, fundraising, institutions, one more institution, one more way of helping another family, another way of guiding a young person in his profession or his parnasa. He always wants to do things better and deeper, and his learning, Baruch Hashem, is an accomplished Talmid Chacham who loves learning and accomplished so much to learning.
We're very excited to be honoring Dov and Sheva this evening, the long-standing members of our Kehillah. Dov, with Sheva's constant encouragement, has been the backbone of our Beis HaMedrash for many, many years. Dov's consistency with his chavrusa throughout COVID is legendary. They've been involved in our shul and in other tzarchei tzibur for many, many years, most recently both working on providing for the expansion of our shul plant, as well as for providing for the needs of so many families through helping to establish Shalshelet. Dov and Sheva are always ready to lend a hand, to pitch in, or to bike to help Klal Yisrael. Mazel tov.
Many of you may remember a few years back when Tzipi and I were honored at the dinner. Dov spoke, and he came on dressed like me, with the red hair and an Islander jersey, and gave everyone a good laugh. And although I despise what I'm wearing right now, Tzipi and I as a couple decided that we would show our support, not only for Dov and Sheva as a couple and what they've done for the community, but for the team that they root for as well, as much as it pains us as Islander fans to put these jerseys on.
Dov and Sheva are truly pillars of our community, not only through their involvement in fundraising or on the board or in Gabas or Sheva's involvement in the sisterhood, but how they inspire all of us, how they've inspired me to get involved, and not just to be a brick in the wall, but to really be a pillar as part of that wall.
It's very fitting that Sheva and Dov are being honored tonight. Sheva is such a warm and wonderful person who really cares so much about the community. She's been so involved in everything with the sisterhood and everything that goes on in the shul, and we're just so proud of them because they really deserve this honor.
Dov is also someone that has a tremendous amount of kavod Torah and kavod Rav and kavod Beit Knesset. He's always one that is willing or eager to share a Dvar Torah or an idea. He often goes up to Rabbi Newberger, I think almost every week after his drasha, to give his insights on what the Rav said. And he's always so happy to share words of Torah as well. And that's what he learned growing up in the home with Rabbi Adler and Rebbetzin Adler, and something that he is giving over to his children as well.
We wanted to wish a mazel tov to Deborah and Avi Glansman and your entire family for being honored this evening. We know that's not always such an easy thing to do, to be honored, but you're doing it for the greater good of the shul. So mazel tov on this really well-deserved honor. Over the years, Dov and I have been involved in many areas of Beth Abraham, and it's become a place that we really call home for ourselves and for our children. I wanted to reflect on the impact that the shul has had on our family. We started davening here in 2001 when we bought our first home on Winthrop Road. We had heard from a few of our friends who moved in how special Rabbi and Rebbetzin Newberger were, and we really felt that this was a great place to start. We were welcomed right away from the Rav and the Rebbetzin and many others. We have many fond memories of David and Sharon Schild hosting fireside Motzei Shabbos meet and greets. for the new members that really made us feel so warm and welcomed right away. I was able to get involved in different sisterhood events, helping out with a variety of different shul events. However, as much as you do for a shul, the most important thing about a shul is fostering, spiritual growth for us and for the kids. And we, thank God, were able to develop a great relationship quickly with Rebbetzin Pesci and the rabbi, and she has really, both of them have been instrumental and have helped us through good times and in challenging times. Having her as a mentor to both myself and my daughter specifically, Leora and Talia, has really been something so special and invaluable. One of the great things of our shul is the amazing leaders that we have gained through the years. Rabbi and Rebbetzin Cohn, Rav Moshe Tzvi and Elisa Weinberg. Rebbetzin Yafa is another special individual who we are so grateful to have a close relationship with.
The question that I get the most whenever I meet someone and they ask me, where do I live? And I say Teaneck. And they ask me, where do I daven? And I say Beth Abraham, is why don't you daven in Rinat? Isn't your father the rabbi of Rinat? And I'm thinking to myself, yes, I know that my father's the rabbi of Rinat, but that question in and of itself has to be darshaned. Why don't I daven in Rinat? And I think what they're really saying is, your parents were builders of this community. They built Rinat, TABC, have been lifelong leaders of the Teaneck community in terms of builders, educators, and really pioneers of Limud HaTorah for so many years. So when it comes to us being here today, that's one of the reasons why we're here. My parents, Sheva's parents who are from Rochester, they taught us what it means to be Osek B'Tzarchei Tzibur. But when it comes to answering the question of why don't I daven in Rinat and why do I daven in Beth Abraham, it goes back to a short story from when I was a kid. There was someone in Rinat named Yossi Lampert, and he unfortunately died at a very young age. But he used to call my father Rebbe. Not Rabbi Adler, not Rabbi, but Rebbe. And that always stuck in my mind. And I thought that when I grow up and I move into a shul, I want to have a Rebbe. And of course, every father and every parent is a Rebbe and a teacher to their children. And when they're formally a rabbi, of course they're a Rebbe and a teacher to their children. But we wanted to make our own marks. We wanted to have our own Rebbeim, our own relationships. And therefore we moved into Congregation Beth Abraham to have our own impact as we go forward.
One of the highlights for me from our time at Beth Abraham was having Eitan's bar mitzvah in Beth Abraham when Dov was serving as the gabbai. Having Dov not only teach Eitan the laning, but being the gabbai really gave the simcha something special and unique.
And of course, it takes so many people to get involved within the community. And there were people way back when that got us involved. I've been the treasurer, the gabbai, and the chair of the capital campaign. Way back when, Ari Weider got me involved with getting onto the board. David Schild was the pioneer of raising money for the current building that we're in and took me through his campaign, page by page, as he went to each and every family, asking for money that we successfully raised for the current building that we're in. And of course, how could I forget Josh Galernter, my old chavrusa, Adam Summers, who convinced me to take on the Gaboyship. I have to give a special thank you to Ronnie Weinberg, who he thanked me last year at last year's dinner for getting him involved. And I have to thank him, Mida Keneged Mida, Adam Mermelstein, the co-chair of the campaign originally, who really wasn't a fundraiser back then. But we converted and we built an entire team, and you know who you are, and we have to thank each and every one of you specifically. But when it comes to running the shul, we have to thank Michael and Jennifer Wiedeker, El Presidente and the First Lady, for everything that they've done. And one of my first jobs when it comes to being on the board was being the treasurer, and that's when I developed a relationship with Claire. And without Claire, we know that the shul does not run.
I can't talk about communal involvement without thanking my parents for really setting the stage for us growing up. They still are pillars of the Rochester community, having served in so many leadership roles there for so many years. The kavod that they had for our own personal rabbi, Rabbi Kalimnik, was something that me and my siblings always looked up to. And of course to my in-laws, Rabbi Yosef and Cheryl Adler, who are incredible leaders of the Teaneck community for so many years. I just want to thank them for what they have done and continue to do for Dov and myself and our entire family. We, of course, wanted to thank all of you for coming to celebrate a shul that we all love and that has given us so much to be proud of. As the rabbi says, it takes a village to raise a family in a Torah way, and we are so proud to be a part of this special village.
First, I just want to say Mazel Tov, Mommy and Abba. You guys deserve this more than anyone else because of all your hard work and dedication that you put to Beth Abraham, but really just this community at large. And I feel like this really sums it up. When I was in Israel for the year, and I was in seminary, my mom texted me, oh, by the way, Abba's starting a new school. And the fact that I was not even surprised, I don't even think I flinched because that's just who my father is.
You both are truly the biggest role models to both of us. It was no shock when we found out that you guys were getting honored at the Beth Abraham dinner. You both are involved in so much in the community. Whether it's with Mayinot, TABC, Yeshivat Noam, Shalshelet, as you can see, wherever we go, my parents are involved.
And of course, leadership, which we see Mommy has done with the sisterhood in Beth Abraham, and Abba has done numerous times, whether it be being treasurer, whether it be heading the capital campaign, whether it be the Gabbai. And I still remember when I was a teenager and I would have this chus of learning with one of my rebbeim at Beth Abraham on Shabbos afternoons, and I would come every mincha to Beth Abraham. And every week, the Gabbai there was Dov Adler, who would give me the Kohen Aliyah at mincha. And I can't say that giving an aliyah to someone is going to be a segula for them to be your son-in-law, but I can tell you that Baruch Hashem in this case, it definitely worked out.
I don't really go to the Beth Abraham, but I think I know what the rabbi looks like. He's the rabbi with the big white beard, and I don't really know if my parents do that much for the shul. I'm just expecting they do because if I'm doing this video, they have to be honored. So I think that they do stuff. And Mazel Tov.
So I know that my father's been in charge of the capital campaign for many years now, and he's raised a lot of money. And I know that he's tired, so I'm in charge now, and I'm gonna be taking charge. And I'm asking you, in honor of my parents, to double the amount of money that you gave to the shul. And if you gave 1,000, give 2,000. 2,000, 4,000, 4,000, 8,000, 500,000, $1 million, and just keep on going.